Hey guys, it's Hugh here from Kids Ride Shotgun. Today we're going to be setting up the Shotgun Pro EVO. So let's grab our bikes and get stuck in. Step 1 is a seat post compatibility check. The Shotgun Pro fits 30.9 to 34.9mm seat posts as standard, which is most modern mountain bikes, and you'll need 14mm seat post clearance to attach the rear clamp. You can adjust your seat post if you need more space. Step 2 is a headset compatibility check. You'll need a 1 1/8 inch steerer and 10mm of space beneath your stem to fit the Shotgun Pro. Just a note, if your bike has internal cable routing that passes through the spaces on your headset, you'll need our Shotgun Pro ICR adapter kit. Step 3 is to install the Shotgun Pro headset spacer, which you'll find located in the front clamp of your Shotgun Pro. First, undo and remove your stem cap. Next, loosen your stem bolts. Now completely remove the handlebars and the stem from the steerer. Then remove all the spacers from your stem. If your bike has no internal cable routing like this model here, you're going to place your Shotgun spacer onto the bottom of the stack, followed by the rest of your spacers minus the 10mm that's been replaced by the Shotgun spacer. If your bike has internal cable routing that exits through the stem cover, first you'll want to place on the Shotgun cable spreader, next the Shotgun Pro spacer, and finally the rest of your spacers minus 13mm of space that have been taken up by these two. Now replace your stem and handlebars, stem cap, and tighten everything back up to the required torque settings. If you're unsure if you've installed your headset again correctly, we always recommend speaking to your local bike mechanic just to make sure your setup is safe to ride. Step 4 is installing the mudguard. We always recommend you do this as a secondary safety feature to stop your kids from getting caught in the front wheel. To install the mudguard, take the zip ties and place them down through the front hole on the mudguard and then back up through the rear hole. Do that on all 4 of the positions. Then bend the mudguard and place it between the tyre and the arch of the fork. Now do the zip ties up, making sure that the cables are passing underneath any of your brake hoses. And lastly, trim the cable ties down. Step 5 is assemble the harness seat. First off, we want to loosen the bolts beneath the saddle, then open the side quick release and slide the saddle all the way to the back, tilt it forwards and then redo the side quick release and tighten the bolts under the saddle. Now position the harness seat behind the Pro seat and align the mounting holes. Next, step 6 is to install the rail on your bike. First, position the seat over the frame of your bike and then slide the front clamp into the spacer. Tighten the thumb screw and finish it off with a 4mm hex key. Now attach the rear clamp to the seat post of your bike. You can adjust the tightness with the thumb screw. Step 7 is adjusting the harness seat. First off, you can change the height of the footrests by opening the latch behind them, sliding them up or down, and then closing the latch again. Next up is to adjust the position of the saddle on the rail. So the ideal position is to have the seat as close to your handlebars as possible whilst giving your kids space between the bars and their legs, which allows you to have the most space in the cockpit for a comfortable ride. So to adjust this, there's 2 screws that live beneath the saddle. You just undo those and slide the rail forwards or backwards. Lastly, you can adjust the angle of the handlebars or the saddle. The ideal saddle position is to have your head slightly reclined when your suspension is fully compressed. To adjust this, open the quick release on the side of the seat, and then you're able to adjust the handlebars and the saddle to your desired position, and then just close the quick release after. Step 8 is adjusting the harness. To secure the harness, take the fidlock arms and place them into the magnetic buckle. You'll hear a nice click when they're in place. To undo them, you simply press the top and the bottom of the buckle together and the arms will pop out. Once your child is in the seat, to adjust the shoulder straps, you can simply pull down on the webbing, and if you need to loosen them, you can lift the ladder lock. When you're riding with your kid, always make sure you've got the sternum strap done up to make sure that the shoulder straps stay in place. So now you're ready to ride in the harness setup. Before you hit the trails, have a quick safety check, make sure everything's nice and tight and secure. Now you're ready to get out there. Come back when it's time to swap from the Pro harness seat to the Pro seat, which we'll be doing in the next section. Okay, so step 9 is to transform from the harness seat to the Pro seat. So you need to take the seat off your bike and undo the fidlock buckle, and then we'll get into it. So the first thing to do is to slide the seat all the way to the back of the rail and then tip it as far forward as possible so that you can access the bolts underneath. To do that, undo the 2 screws underneath the seat, slide it to the back of the rail. You're going to want to tighten those back up so that it doesn't slip around, and then undo the quick release on the side. Tilt the seat all the way forwards, and then redo that quick release. To remove the harness seat, we're going to undo the 5 mounting bolts underneath it. Now you can remove the harness seat. Now we're going to remove the fidlock buckle. So to do that, undo the quick release, move the saddle so the nose is all the way up in the air, then shut that quick release again. I find this bit easier to do with the seat upside down. So you're going to pull the center of the buckle clip towards the nose of the saddle, then you're going to squeeze the 2 sides together, and that's going to allow you to pull the fidlock buckle out of the seat. So now we're going to detach the fidlock buckle from the Pro clip. That just weaves itself off, and then pop it back in your Pro seat. So now you can store your fidlock buckle with your harness seat, and we're going to remove the handlebar loop next. So to do that, remove the 2 screws on the inside of the handlebar here. Now the handlebar loop will just slide off. Pop that with your harness seat as well, and store it away somewhere safe for next time. Next, we're going to insert the Pro seat inner legs. So I'll grab them out in my parts and tools box of here. So they slide in, noting the fixing holes should align with the inside of the legs. And then you're going to reinsert the bolts that you just took out. Now open up the quick release and lower the legs beneath the saddle. Step 10, we're going to establish the narrow or wide setting for your legs. To do this, we're going to turn the seat over again, undo the bolts underneath the legs, and then we're going to adjust the leg to either the narrow or the wide setting, depending on the width of the top tube of your mountain bike. If you've got an e-bike with a really fat top tube, you're probably going to need the wide setting. Otherwise, narrow is good for most people. To do that, we're going to undo the bolts underneath the legs with a 5mm hex key. Remove the leg and turn it around to the desired position. And repeat on the other leg. Make sure that you set both legs to the same width setting. Now we're going to install the foot straps to the foot pegs. The large hole on the foot strap goes on this end. And you want to move it on to that inside groove. And then the other holes go on this end. And you want to select a size that's tight around your child's feet to stop them from slipping around while they're riding, but not so tight that it's uncomfortable. And then repeat the same process on the other foot peg. Step 12, we're going to install the foot pegs. You'll notice on them that they're marked riders right or left. To do this, first, take the screws out of the bottom of the legs and position the foot pegs over them, ensuring that the foot pegs are at a 90-degree angle to the pro seat rail. Then reinsert the screws and tighten them to the required torque setting. Okay, step 13. Now it's time to put the seat back on your bike. So you guys are familiar with this by now, but undo the thumb screw. Place the front clamp in. Give that a tighten. And then do the rear clamp as well. Step 14, we're going to adjust the saddle's position on the rail. To do that, undo the 2 bolts underneath the saddle and position it to where you want it. And step 15, now adjust the leg and saddle angle. To do that, open the quick release, position the legs how you want them for your little rider, get a nice level angle on the saddle, close the quick release again. Now step 16, we're going to adjust the leg height. To do this, simply loosen the bolts on the side of the leg and position them where you'd like them for a nice comfortable ride for your little rider. And lastly, perform a quick safety check. Take one of your child's shoes, put them into the stirrups, and then compress the front suspension, turn the wheel, make sure that your child's feet aren't going to come into contact with the wheel of the bike. If they are, you'll need to adjust your setup. Step 1 for the Pro bars is to insert the rubber inserts. You'll find 31.8mm and 35mm rubber inserts, which should align to the size of your handlebar on your bike. For this bike, we're using the 35mm inserts. Next, install the left handlebar clamp to your handlebars, followed by the right side, making sure that they slot together. If the handlebar clamps are too tight or too loose, you can adjust them by rotating the cam levers. Next, we're going to take the handlebar caps off. Now place the handlebar into place, getting it as centered as possible, and replace the handlebar caps. If you put the stem caps on loosely to begin with, you can then align the bars to get the perfect position and then finish tightening them up. Now your pro bars are all set up, it's good to give them a little safety check before you go riding. Make sure they're on there nice and tight and they're not going to move around. And now when you want to take them off, you simply just release the latches on both sides and they're off in a couple of seconds. So now you're all set up and ready to go riding. Happy shredding! Man, that looked easy.